I have been asked so many times to cover this subject, so I am going to do that today, and that is that question of how do I layer up a quilt without the back wrinkling? I've got you covered. So I was doing exactly this with my in-person students the other day. So we whipped out the camera. One of my students, Sheila, stepped up admirably to the plate to become cameraman for 15 minutes and recorded what you're about to see. So I hope it helps. I am Kim, this is Quilt with Kim. Let's go take a look at exactly how to get rid of those wrinkles. No, not those ones, those ones. Okay, so to start with, we need to put our wadding on the surface first. So if you're doing this on the floor, protect your floor. So we've got an old sheet that's down on the floor to protect the floor because I'm using the 505 spray basting. We're going to start off with our wadding laid out flat on our sheet on the floor, and then we're going to get our backing first. And this is one of my students. So Sheila is one of my students, and she is currently holding my phone to record this, and she's now got the fits and giggles. So this is live as it happens. This is roaming recording. The first thing you want to do with your backing before you get any further is make sure that you've cut any loose threads off, because once you have basted it and stuck it all down, then you'll see all those little twizzles through. So we don't want to be doing that. So you're going to get your backing, and we obviously want the wrong side facing down. So let's put this over here onto our wadding, and because your backing and your wadding will be pretty much the same size, just spend a minute or two getting it all lined up. So I've got the bottom of the backing lined up with the bottom of the wadding, and we already know that this will fit the entire length of our wadding or batting, and it does like to misbehave and move about even though you think you've lined it up. That's what happens. Doing a bit of this preparation stops you from getting the wrinkles. So what you'll end up with is your backing the wrong side facing towards your wadding, but it's folded in half. So if I'd unfolded it, you can see that it would go across all the wadding, but I want it folded in half. And if you're wondering why I'm doing this, all will become clear in just a moment. So it's folded in half, so the right sides are together of your backing, and it is against your wadding. So you can see that it's folded in half at the bottom half of your wadding. Now what I'm going to do is get my spray baste, and this is why we need to have covered the floor with a sheet, and I'm going to spray the wadding. What I don't want you to do is spray your fabric, because it soaks through and makes it quite wet. It won't harm it, it just becomes a bit sticky. So spray your wadding, and you're going to give it a good spray. And if you've got any loose threads that have appeared on here, on your wadding, now will be a good time to get rid of them. Okay, so I've sprayed all of that. Now what I'm going to do is, with my backing, I'm going to put my hands under where that fold is, and I'm going to stroke forward and do it bit by bit. And if you've got any seams like Sheila has, we want to make sure that they're all nice and flat. And by doing this, as you're stroking up, you'll get rid of any wrinkles. And if you do end up, can you see here, we've got a little wrinkle in the fabric. All we do is just undo it a little bit and stroke back again. Okay. Now this particular backing is just a little bit bigger than the wadding, but that's okay because what Sheila and I have been doing is creating a different look and feel for the back of her table runner, which is what we're making at the moment. So we're fine with that. Yours is probably the same size. So having done one side, and make sure that we are all, there's a bump underneath there, I don't know what that is. Oh, it's on the floor. We've made sure that all of that is wrinkle free. All I'm going to do is turn round, and then this first half, I'm going to pull that back on myself, just gently. And if you pull gently, you'll get to a point where you'll meet the basting, which is just there. And then we do exactly the same thing again, remove any bits. And while I'm doing this, please make sure if you're using spray basting that you're in a very large room, you've got the door or window open, which we haven't. The edges and the corners are bits that you will miss, quite common to miss. And then what I'm going to do is come back and do exactly the same thing from this side. So get my hands underneath that fold. If you can't crawl around on the floor, so Sheila, my student who is holding the camera, whose shadow you might be able to see in here, she, because of her knees, she can't crawl around on the floor. But you can do this on a table as well, but please protect your surfaces and still open the windows and all the things. So I'm doing exactly the same, making sure that that seam is flat. And we've got a little wrinkle appeared, so that happens. That's better. Another wrinkle. And as you stroke and stroke it away, and see we've got another wrinkle here. All I'm going to do is pull it back and smooth it away. Okay, so by magic, that is the backing on. And then all I'm going to do is flip it over, which is now stuck to the sheet. Like that. Straighten it all out. And this time we're going to put the quilt top on. So you will have cleared any of the little threads, which all seem to reappear again the minute you've got rid of them. And then this time your quilt top needs to go centrally in your backing and wadding, because when we are putting our backing and wadding on, we need a good 2 to 3 inches of what's called overage round the edges. It depends on the size of your quilt. The bigger your quilt, the more overage you need. So this is a table runner that we've been making. So we've got about 3 inches, 3-4 inches either side. So what we want is to center your quilt top in that. So we've got an even amount all the way round. The reason why we have this overridge is because when we quilt, it pulls all these sides in, and they can be a bit wobbly and a bit all over the place, and it won't be straight. But by the time you finish quilting and then we trim it, it'll all sort itself out. But for now, we want all of this smoothed down. And I'm just saying it's very hot down here because our log burner is on at the moment. And I'm crawling around on the floor by the log burner. Okay, I guess we just need to make sure that our panel is in the middle, which I think it is. Sheila, are you happy where that is? Yeah, she's giving me a thumbs up. Okay, so having centered that, we're now going to do pretty much the same thing. So we're going to bring the quilt top back to ourselves about halfway. And then you have to imagine where that would be. Good straight. And then precisely the same, hands underneath, stroke away. It's very satisfying, this, by the way. Okay, we're all wrinkle free here. I'm going to turn around. Just be thankful you don't get a view of my backside like we did in rehearsals. Okay, and then the last bit. So I've pulled the quilt top back on itself to where I've met the 505, the spray, so it's stuck now. And then all I'm going to do is exactly the same this side. Okay, and then last bit is again hands underneath. And straight that up. And I like a wrinkle right on the last bit. My cat has just come in from the outside and it's raining, so we need to get this off the floor before he thinks that muddy paw prints are a good thing to have on a quilt. Hey Shadow, you see he's going to go up there. What are you doing? Okay, so that is all wrinkle free on that half, and that is all ready now for quilting. Ta-da! I hope that has helped. If it has, please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.